Hello, this is Hellsen. Welcome back to our Play by Email versus Deaniks using the Pacific First mod with variants. Now we're going to be watching the combat replay for December 15th, 1941. Alright. Fast forward this a little bit. Alright. Offload now minus. Nobody home at Clark. Nobody home at Clark. Nobody home at Clark. Alright, start the bombardments. So, this is just airfield bombing. We're just trying to get it damaged enough where you can't build it back to forts that we knocked down. Probably do like 1 or 2 turns, get it up pretty high to like, you know, pretty high damage, and then we'll switch over to some ground forces. Not going to do a lot with ×3 terrain, but any disruption we can do will help. Alright, starting the bombardment on the north. Trying to get as much disruption and supply usage out of these guys while our troops are on the way there. So at the Stukas doing ground bombing, just because they tend to be a little bit better at it, but I think I had them at 10k, so they were dive bombing, so I drop it down to 9k, and I think we don't lose them to flak that way. So alright, so his B-17s are starting to come in and bombard our forces at Moulmein, which again, type 3 terrain. I wasn't really worried about it so much. He's sweeping some lightnings out of Rangoon. So I think that was the small half. We'll get the bigger picture in like this. He's got a pretty good amount. I think it's like almost 40 something. And then the Death Star is now on the other side of Port Blair, which is an interesting development. Alright, so again, we got our subs kind of like retreating. They're not retreating, but they're heading to Cameron Bay to reload and refuel and do some damage repair before we head them back out. So unfortunately, the Death Star is going to cause us some issues with our search, just because we're going to lose a lot of search planes keeping track of them. Gets kind of expensive. Alright, that's it for PM phase. Doing a little bit of unloading, we're heading into the land phase. Alright, San Jose, obviously it's not going to be an issue. It's just a little base force. We'll capture that. It surrenders. Now we will proceed on to Elolio. At Kuala Lumpur, the tank regiment here runs into base force, low AA, in a FMS brigade. Take Kuala Lumpur. Oh, take it back. Knock 2 of them out. And then should take it next turn. Alright, Kaifeng expands its airfield to size 5, which is important, because we need a nice airfield up there to support our northern attack. And even more importantly, an airfield up there that's on the railroad. So, alrighty then. So let's take a look at the intelligence report for today. So we lost 1 to 6. We lost 2 sallies to op losses. We lose 2 Mavises, 1 to air, 1 to op losses. We lost that Stuka, we lost a Siren to ops loss, and we did shoot down a Do 24. That's ours, only one that ship sunk this turn. We're not claiming anything because we didn't actually hit it. And ground reinforcements on it is where we're at. Intel 8544. That is going to be, should be right in here. Yep. So yes, he has troops right there hanging out north of Nanning. Ops reports. Let's take a look at our upgrades for the turn. Alright, so we got a couple of air groups moving around. We knew that. I lost 2 points this turn for Fu Chao and Loy Lang not being garrisoned. 55th Division upgrades at Moulmein. 14th Division at Hankow. 116th at Hankow. Bunch of airfield units getting their radar. Construction units getting radar, and so forth. That's basically what these guys were all upgrading this turn, so we're happy with that. Going up to the other groups, some devices. So these guys are getting ready. These are upgrading, ready to become division. 17th division, 116th division, some artillery upgrading, 8th division upgrading, Hero Guards division upgrading, 55th division again. So just a lot upgrading. Using a lot of armament points up, but getting ready. So let's start off with Kitty Ties. So, yep. One's at Balboa. These guys should be at Balboa next turn. A couple turns out for these guys. Basically where we're at. We're continuing to move forces around. These guys are headed to Nauru. They will then load up and take Ocean for the resources. These guys are heading to Jalut because Jalut has a couple large naval guards. So these are taking like 120 size naval guards. So they're about what? I want to say they're about 3,000 plus troops. Well, the interesting part is this Jalut's an atoll, so max stacking's 6,000. I got 9,000 troops there, so we're burning through supply here. So we need to take one of those guys off. I'm thinking eventually I got to take the second one off too because it's still overstacked with the garrison and that. We should, I think I'd wait to get these guys down here and then we start moving across here. So we will down blue on to Elolio. These guys are loading up, or will be loading up. The rest of the tank to join these. I didn't full load there. And these guys are unloading. Soft. So looking pretty good. About one more turn, I think. We'll wait till the rest of the. That's once the guards division, second guards division move in next turn. And we do our second attack on Clark. These guys are moving in. These guys are moving in. We're starting to do pretty good up here. And I believe next turn we will shock attack into Singapore. And you got several other turns. You're heading back in that. We're going to hold off in Momaine. Just because I don't, like I said, I don't want to head up. And interestingly enough, he's moving to Death Star over here. I'm expecting like bombardments and aerial things at Momaine when I saw this. So, time to terrain, what it won't do a lot, or it shouldn't do a lot. We should be into Hong Kong, not next turn, but the turn after, and we'll start wearing down the defenses there. Obviously, we're moving into Chusain. We'll take Puching, and then these guys will try to go push this guy out. And I think next turn we will get our first, our first movement towards these guys, but it's going to take a while to move on these guys on the small road / railroad. That's our tactical situation, really. Is this we're working on the Philippines clearing up, working on Malaya clearing it up. We're going to get all our carriers together, and we'll split off our carriers. We'll leave one carrier, or CVL, to cover landings in India, the DEI. We'll break off 2 light carriers to cover landings in the Solomon Sea area, and then the rest of the carriers are going to go play with the fleet in the Bay of Bengal area. So, not as quick as I would like are we doing. So, we do put the Hasu into the yard this turn. So, I believe you were, no, the Mutsu. The Mutsu goes into the yard. Hasu was already. So we just shut him down for a little bit, but we don't do it because we already had the Hasu from the torpedo. It's 51 days out. So the Mutsu can't fit in the yard here. So basically we're going to put it like stand down for a little bit, get a little bit, maybe repairs down. But as soon as we take Singapore, we'll move it into Singapore and repair it at Singapore, basically. Right now, that's it. We don't have a lot of strategic going. We're just trying to set up our forces for the next wave. So, I do need to, once we take Singapore, we will try to move on to Palembang. I do want to take Singkawang and Kuching and all these places. And then I do want to get Java in the DEI. I just want to make sure I get air cover so I don't start losing decent size APs and AKs to Do 24s in the Dutch Air Force. Because the Dutch Air Force actually is not bad in this one. I mean, they got pretty bad planes, but they have good pilots because of the variants in the mod. So they can be dangerous. And again, we're just waiting on aircraft we can start working on the 2 CVLs, so we can start invasion of Port Moresby and friends down here. We are waiting on the Shoho, which is probably a couple months off, I want to say. Ship availability, ETA. I think it's the end of January when we get Shoho. Not that far out. And once she comes along online, we will then proceed with our invasion of the Lucians. All right, where are you? There he is. 47 days, yeah. So the end of January. I am burning through my naval shipyard points right now. We started off with 40,000. We're only a week into the war, and we've already spent 5,000. And that's mainly because I went ahead and accelerated the Shinano. So this is costing me, it says 250, but it's actually 750. So I'm spending like an extra 640 points per turn just accelerating the Shinano. Now this will get a little bit better as soon as 16 days from now we will finish Karama, and then 73 days we will finish the Tochi. Then also as we finish the Shoho, these Nishin in this month. So I'm hoping these will last long enough to get enough points down and I don't actually have to turn anything off. But once it starts getting, if it gets to probably like 5,000 or so, then I might start turning some subs off and stuff like that. CVs don't matter, but we also, like I said, Karama, Tochi, Keys, huge amount of points because it's a Yamato. 238. I mean, here's 135 here. The Tulsa is A150. It's costing me 255 points. That's a lot of points right there being built per month, just the nose. I mean, heavy cruisers, we're not building heavy cruisers, but light cruisers. You know, 30, 30, 30, 41, 30, 30, 30, 64. So, and then not to mention all the destroyers we're building, you know, 10, 10, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 10, 10, 10 adds up a lot, right? Subs surprisingly are expensive too. Subs are a lot of points. So, you know, 33, 33, 33, 33, 33, you're an I-400. So, that's a big class, you know, with Sarens. 50 points. A lot of points going into subs. A lot of points being built into subs. And honestly, if I have to turn stuff off, I'll probably turn the subs off first. So, hopefully they will last long enough to get me through to it. Armament points, and we're down to 387. So we've already, first week of the war, we've already spent 213,000 armament points. Vehicle points, 31/4. We've actually gained a little bit, but this is going to go down really fast once we start upgrading to our Tigers and Panthers. And then most of those are pretty much going to go to ground reinforcements. You got to think, you have to fill these guys out, right? So this won't be a whole bunch because these are going to come in from stock. But the 7th Independent Tank Brigade, again, not going to be a whole bunch of points because I should have these guys ready. It's when these heavy tank battalions start coming in. So each Tiger, there's 20 points, is 320 points. So that's 6,400 vehicle points, right? Just for those Tigers, 6,400. So basically 5 of these is going to wipe out my pool. That's not counting the Type 1 medium tanks. You know, and I figure I have till May to build up a decent size pool, right? Because we get 2 of these in April. These hopefully won't be too bad because I'm hoping I'll have some extras of these. But the 5th Tank Division, that's a lot of points that I got to build up, all these guys. So, and that's all in April and May. 7th Tank Division. In July, we're going to have more of these heavy tank battalions. 8th Tank is in September. A lot of these in October. It's a lot of points we need to build. I'm not sure if I can actually keep up. Plus replacements. So I'm usually pretty hard on my vehicles. I do play really hard like that. That's why we are expending our vehicle points. So we're at the 804 a turn. and I got another 165. I want to get around 1,000 is what we're shooting for. So that'll give me almost 3 tigers a day, or almost 90 a month, replacement wise in that. So hopefully that would be enough. If I lose more than 90 tigers a month, then we're hurting. Armament points, I've expanded a little bit, but not so much. I'm hoping we can keep up with those. Manpower is what's going to be really hurting me, it's hurting me later on in the game. So we have 47,000 left at 300,000. We've used 250,000, and the reason that's hurting is because all the upgrades just sucked it up. And then again, on reinforcements, every time on these reinforcements, I have to fill them out. So they're going to take a certain amount of points. So Hong Kong debt, you know, it's only 240 points, or manpower, but this guy, you know, 500 points. You know, 2,000, that's half a daily input right there. Plus I got to keep up with replacements and upgrades. Here's 5,000, that's more than we get a day. But the amphibious brigade, 5,000 more than we get a day. Yeah. Wait till we get to some of the big ones. Like, these are all like daily stuff that's going to wipe out an entire day. But like the 6th Guards Division, I need 14,000 manpower to fill out this division, and I think it's actually more than that. I don't think this is like a straight up. I think it's 1 man per loading cost. So I don't think it's like a 1-for-1, right? So say we are building 15-centimeter guns for that division. I'm pretty sure it takes 9 manpower low cost. No, it's going to take 24 per T96 gun. I don't think it's a 1-for-1. I don't. It's, you think that's bad? The funny part is, I just realized that vehicles, right? Remember I told you it's taking 320 to make a Tiger, right? Or 240 for Tiger 1. So every one of those Tiger 1s is going to take me 240 manpower. So at 20, we're looking at like 5,000 just for those 20 tanks. Which doesn't make sense to me, the way that works. That seems kind of awkward. Like, you don't need 20 manpower to just go away to build a tank, but it's the way the system works. So, but he made these super expensive in the mod because you shouldn't have as many as we do. And if I paid attention to the load cost and that's how it's worked, I probably would have put some more points in our vehicle points and manpower. But I didn't, so I will have to adapt, or just, you know, not use them right away and build them up as I can. So that's going to be it for today's turn, guys. I'll catch you all later.